guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have my favorite drugstore foundations. I have 5 to show you, so let's get right into it. So my favorite drugstore foundation of all time is definitely the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible Demi Matte Finish 24-Hour Foundation. I love this stuff. You guys know, if you watch my videos, I cannot stop raving about this. My skin type is more on the normal side right now. I'm not dry and I'm not oily. Sometimes I can lean a little bit more towards dry, but I do have dehydrated skin, so sometimes I can get a little bit oily or like dewy in the summer just because my skin is dehydrated, so it's producing more oil. But when I apply my foundation, it's definitely more on the dry side, so I consider my skin like dehydrated / normal. But this foundation just works for me. Right now I'm in the shade 105, which is natural beige. I've used it a ton. I've repurchased this so many times. I used to use this in my kit. It's just such a great foundation. It has no flashback. It looks amazing in pictures, and the best thing about this is that it lasts so long. I typically don't wear my foundation for 24 hours, but I will say I've slept in this. I know, super bad. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, I wake up and my foundation is pretty much intact. This stuff is like glue, like super glue for your face. I pretty much have almost all of the colors from 102 all the way to 109, just because, like I said, I had it in my kit. Now this foundation is geared to all skin types because it is demi matte. If you have extremely oily skin, what you want to do is just obviously use a mattifying primer on the nose or in the T-zone, wherever you get oily. But for me, since I have normal dry combo skin, I just have to prep my skin. If I exfoliate and prep my skin, this looks fantastic on me. This and the Estee Lauder Double Wear are my favorite foundations of all time, and reason being, they last so long. So you get 1 fluid ounce, and this retails from around $10 to $15 depending on where you get it, like what drugstore you get it at. But make sure you look for sales when you're shopping drugstore makeup. Never buy full price. Wait until there's a 40% off or buy one get one, or if you have a coupon or something like that, because it just makes more sense because there are coupons available and there are sales. So love this. This is my all-time favorite drugstore foundation, hands down. So now let's jump into the swatches. So my second favorite foundation from the drugstore is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This one is for normal to oily skin, which is so weird. I have normal skin, but I like matte foundations. It's the strangest thing ever. So this says it's for normal to oily skin, and it's the matte and poreless. And I say that with air quotes because on me, it doesn't look that matte. Like when I apply this, it's not matte at all, which is really strange. If I set it, obviously it becomes matte, but I feel like this is more of a demi matte, like the L'Oreal Pro Matte. This one is actually less matte than the L'Oreal Pro Matte. So I really like this one. It lasts really long. I do feel like the L'Oreal one lasts a little bit longer, but this one is up there with lasting power. I'm also natural beige in this one, which is $2.20. I love that the Fit Me and the L'Oreal have a lot of yellow and olive undertones because I do have a really strong yellow undertone. You can't really tell on the camera, but in person when I go out in natural daylight, if a foundation is too orange or too pink, it is very obvious on me. And this one is a standard 1 fluid ounce. If you have oily skin, you're gonna want to do the same. You're gonna want to use a mattifying primer in the T-zone or wherever you get oily, and if you have dry skin, you want to prep. When it comes to a flawless finish, I love both. The L'Oreal one, I do have to use a pore minimizing primer like around my nose and around that area. This one, I don't feel like I have to because it is a poreless formula, so if I skip the primer, this one still looks good, but the L'Oreal one just lasts longer. So it depends on what kind of finish you like. I feel like this one just looks a lot more natural on my skin. I use this in my other video and it looks so great on camera. It photographs beautifully, so no flashback in this one either, and I just love how natural this one is, but it's still a medium to full coverage. You can definitely build this one up because it is so watery. You can add 2 layers and it's beautiful. The L'Oreal Pro Matte dries pretty quickly, so you have to work quickly. This one you don't have to work with so quickly because it doesn't set right away. I do have to set this. The L'Oreal Pro Matte, I can get away with not setting that, so it depends on what kind of finish you like, but this is definitely top 2 favorite drugstore foundation of all time. So let's jump into these swatches. My number 3 pick is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. I wear the shade Light Beige 03 right now. I love this stuff. It's what I currently have on. This one is more on the full coverage side. I love that this one is so inexpensive. They don't have many shades, which really sucks, but it has a pump. None of the other foundations have a pump. The Loreal one is nice because it's a squeezy tube and you can get the most out of it. The Maybelline one is a pour out, which I don't really like. But I love having a pump. It just makes everything so much easier. This one is super matte on me. It's super like full coverage. This one reminds me of the Lancome 24-hour foundation. When I apply it, it's pretty matte. It does have like a sticky feel, so you do have to set it even though it's matte. So if you have dry skin, you're gonna want to set this with something really lightweight. But I just love how flawless this looks. It photographs beautifully. The only thing I don't like about this is that it kind of gets weird around the nose. It's just not as flawless there, so you have to use a little bit of foundation on the nose so it doesn't look cakey, but everywhere else it just looks so flawless. I really love this. This one's on the thicker side. It's comparable to the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible, where the Maybelline one is a little more watery, a little more liquidy, and a little more forgiving, where this one, when you pump it out, it's like a mousse. This one is also oil free. It says it's long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof, which is awesome. This is a great summer night foundation because it's gonna last so long, and so is the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible. Pretty much all of these are, but this one and the L'Oreal lasts so long. I love, love, love this one. If you haven't tried it, check it out. Again, it's what I'm wearing right now. I only have 3 shades in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into these swatches. So this is the hydrating version of the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible. If I'm feeling really dry, I'll mix this one in with the Pro Matte and it's the perfect finish. I'm also shade 205 in this one. The shades are a little bit different, I do have to say. I feel like they're a little more pinky. I haven't gotten any flashback, but it does have SPF in it, so I guess it depends on how you're setting it. With this one, you're going to want to take a little bit more precaution. If you're oily, you're going to want to do maybe like double primer and a really good setting powder. And again, this is more of like my day-to-day. I want to look natural and glowy and dewy and luminous and not so matte, because sometimes if you're not doing a full face, the Pro Matte Infallible is just too much. Where this one, if you use a beauty blender, you can put it all over your face, apply some mascara, and you're good to go. It's not going to last as long, but it's still going to look appropriate for just like a mascara and foundation day. So I hope that makes sense. So this is number 4. So I only have 4 shades, so let's move on to these swatches. Last foundation favorite from the drugstore is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup. Here they are. I only have shades W3 and W4. I actually haven't used this in a while, so I kind of go through L'Oreal True Match phases. Like sometimes I love it and then I just stop using it, and then I wear it again and I fall right back in love with it. So this one will cling a little bit more to any dry patches. So this one is the most runny out of all of them, which I kind of like because I feel like you don't have to blend as fast. I have the warm shades. I really like this. It has an SPF of 17, so it's great for an everyday to-day foundation. It's a classic. I feel like if you haven't tried L'Oreal True Match, you totally should. If you like a medium coverage, I feel like you get more out of this one because you don't need a lot and you get so much in here because it is so liquidy. So this one is a medium to full coverage. All of the foundations that I've shown are buildable, but the L'Oreal Pro Infallible Glow Foundation, that one you can sheer out because it is a glowy one, but this one is more on the matte / normal finish. It leans more towards the matte side depending on the condition of my skin. If you haven't tried this one, try it. It's an OG from the drugstore. It's a classic. I wanted to give an honorable mention to the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Pressed Foundation. This one is in the shade 200. This has a matte finish, up to 16-hour powder. I wanted to shout out Mose Jo. She actually recommended this to me in one of my videos and I went out and got it, and I haven't used it for that long, but I really do like it. I feel like she was so right. This is a dupe for the Studio Fix powder from MAC. It's a matte finish. It's not too heavy, but it still provides coverage, and I really like this one. Again, I haven't used it for that long, but So far, so good. And I also really love the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I only have that one in a light shade, so I use it to set my under eye, but I just wanted to mention those two powder foundations. So that concludes my drugstore favorite foundations. Let me know if you love any of these or if you have any other drugstore foundations that you love. I do own the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation, the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum. I do own the EX1 foundation, which I think is a drugstore foundation from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. But I haven't played around with them. I don't know, I just don't gravitate towards those. But I totally should give them some love because they are drugstore foundations. They're just not available here in the US. I want to do a high-end week. So this is drugstore week here on my channel. I want to do a high-end week. So I'll do the same thing, like my top 5 favorite high-end foundations that are worth your money. But I absolutely love these foundations. Like the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible is one of my most used foundations. I just feel like it's a no-brainer. It's just so easy and I know that I can trust it. I know that I can depend on the L'Oreal Pro Matte and the Maybelline Fit Me. The Milani one is nice, but if I'm going to an event and I want to use one of my drugstore foundations, I'll use the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible. Like, hands down, it's so good. It's so bomb. You have to try it. If it hasn't worked for you, just try prepping your skin a little bit better, like exfoliate the night before or use a moisturizer that's really moisturizing or try a different primer because on me, it just looks so good. Also, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you want to see a tutorial on this look. I did film myself getting ready. It's all drugstore products, so give this video a big thumbs up or leave me a comment down below if you want to see that. And again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.